Hey, have you ever felt like you're just spinning your wheels with your IELTS writing practice? Like you're doing everything right, but that score just won't budge? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the most common mistakes that are secretly holding you back. Seriously, if you've ever been frustrated with your results, this one is for you. Okay, so here's a little challenge for us. Can we actually pin down and start fixing the most common IELTS writing mistakes in, I don't know, under 5 minutes? I think we can. Let's dive right in. First things first, we need to talk about what I call the score killer problem. And look, these aren't just tiny little errors. These are the big ones, the ones that can genuinely make or break your final score and keep you from hitting that band you're aiming for. And if any of this is starting to sound familiar, I really want you to know you are not alone. So many students get caught in these exact same traps. But here's the good news, right? Once you can see them, you can start to fix them. And that awareness, that's the most important first step. Okay, so to really get a handle on the mistakes, we have to understand the rules of the game. It only makes sense, right? Let's actually break down the band score and see exactly what the examiners are trained to look for when they pick up your essay. So take a look at this. What's so wild here is how perfectly balanced it is. Your final score is literally an average of these 4 areas, and each one is worth exactly 25%. That means a weakness in just one of these categories will directly pull your entire score down. There's no hiding a flaw here. It all counts equally. All right, so now that we've got those scoring criteria in our heads, let's walk through some of the most common writing traps you're likely to see, and we'll connect each one right back to those 4 key areas we just talked about. Okay, trap number 1. This is maybe the most critical of all. It's a failure in task achievement. This all comes down to one simple thing. Did you actually answer the question? I mean, all parts of the question, fully and directly. It sounds so simple, but believe me, this is where so many points are just lost. And this example just illustrates the point perfectly. If the prompt asks for advantages and disadvantages, and you write this beautiful, amazing essay just about the advantages, you haven't actually completed the task. You have to address every single part of the prompt to score well here. No way around it. All right, let's talk about trap number 2, poor coherence and cohesion. This is all about the flow and the logic of your writing. Is your essay easy to read? Do your ideas connect smoothly from one sentence to the next? Because if the examiner has to stop and reread your sentences just to figure out what you're trying to say, yeah, you're losing marks. And of course, there are a bunch of other common traps, right? Maybe you've tried to impress the examiner with some big fancy words you don't fully understand. Boom, that's a hit to your lexical resource score. Or maybe you've used some generic template you found online that doesn't quite fit the question. And little things like basic grammar errors or a rushed conclusion because you ran out of time, they all add up. They will always cost you points. So we've seen all these common traps. But what if I told you there's one single foundational mistake that's often the cause of all these other problems? This, right here, is the light bulb moment. So let's just pause for a second. What do you think it is? What's the one core issue that leads to all these other failures in task achievement, in cohesion, vocabulary, and grammar? Any ideas? And there it is. The single biggest mistake is just misunderstanding the rubric, the official marking criteria. It's not knowing what the examiner is actually paid to look for. So here's the crucial point, guys. The rubric is the rule book. I mean, think about it. If you don't know the rules, you can't win the game, right? Ignoring it is exactly why people write off-topic answers, why they use vocabulary to sound impressive instead of being clear, and why they rely on templates that just don't work. It's the root cause of everything. Okay, so that was a problem, a big one. But now let's pivot to the solution. And this isn't about being perfect. It's about being smart and strategic. Here is your clear path to success. It really is a simple 3-step process. First, you have to obsess over that rubric. I mean, really know what a Band 7 or a Band 8 requires for each of those 4 criteria. Second, practice with real, official questions. No shortcuts, no weird online prompts. And third, and this is so important, get feedback from someone who actually understands that rubric and can tell you exactly where you're losing points. Look, if you take just one thing away from our little chat today, let it be this. Your goal is not to sound like some philosophy professor. It's not about impressing anyone. Your goal is to be clear, to answer the question, and to follow the rules. Seriously, clarity is everything. So, I'm really curious to hear from you. After going through all this, which of these traps do you think you struggle with the most? Is it maybe answering the whole question? Or is it keeping your ideas connected and flowing? Go ahead and drop a comment below and let me know. Just thinking about it, that's the first real step to making a change.